When they won that championship on that court in New Orleans, they were jumping up and down, not saying, we did it, we won. They were saying, we're going to the White House, we're going to the White House, because they wanted to meet you.
I don't know. Darryl Bird, you buying that or selling that?
I think I'm selling that. A little bit of theater involved, but hey, he was in a political environment, so that may be mild compared to what other stretching we see.
Howie Lindsay, Louisville Sports Report, you buying or selling? That's what
I'm not buying that at all. They were jumping up and down saying, we've got a math test tomorrow. No, I'm not buying either one of those. Those two need to leave some hot air for the rest of us.
Yeah, this is what we're doing on the show this week. We're taking a look at some of the topics in the world of sports, and we're going to figure out if we're buying or selling. This portion of the Red and Blue Review is brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, who's reminding you that one text or call could absolutely wreck it all. All right, topic number one, that last-second loss Kentucky had at Indiana and then winning at home against North Carolina helped harden that Kentucky basketball team to help them win a national championship. Well, now neither one of those teams will be on Kentucky's basketball schedule this coming year. Cal says he's got to soften that schedule a little bit so it's not as taxing on his new players.
You can't learn against Popcorn State. You just can't. You can play those games, and you got to fill out your schedule, but you need these kind of games. You just don't need 12 of them. I bet you there's not a top 20 program that's locked into 5 games. I bet you. I bet you there's not a top 20 program. I'll be surprised if they're locked into 3 games every year. You can't play all these kind of games and put your program at risk. But you need to play these kind of games to figure out where are we before January hits. My job isn't to try to entertain. My job is to keep this program where it is and not put it at risk.
All right, Darryl Bird, you buying or selling? Blame the Wildcats for the end of the UK-Indiana series.
I am absolutely selling it. There is no way you can blame UK for this. And the reason is that when they were negotiating, the game was supposed to be in Lexington this year. UK said, let's play it in Indiana on a neutral floor the next 2 seasons. And Indiana still balked at that notion of playing there, splitting the seats 50-50. So, no, I do not blame it. But I hate the fact, as you were introing it, the Indiana game, the loss, and the North Carolina game were 2 of the greatest games of last season. Yep. How are you going to replace those? That's a little tough to give away. But, no, you cannot blame UK for the series ending.
I think we probably know where this is going. Howie's got a chance to blame Kentucky for something. I'm guessing you're going with it.
I am, because it is Kentucky's fault. John Calipari doesn't want this thing. He doesn't want to play Indiana, possibly the #1 team in the country, with a squad that is extremely thin and has a whole bunch of brand new players. He just doesn't want to do it. And so I think he and his buddy Tom got together and they said, okay, how do we get out of this thing? And I think they're both to blame. But I'd like to put a little extra blame on John Calipari.
Well, I'm agreeing with Howie about his point. I'm saying it's a sell for the very same reason. I think the 2 coaches, neither one of them wanted to do it. They found a way to sort of blame the other fan base or the other program for it. So I think it's something that really falls in the lap of Crean and Calipari. All right, topic number 2. Big East boss John Marinato. He dumps out of the Big East deal that he's got going for the last 3 years. And so the question is, with the Big East going down, is Louisville going to go down with the ship? Howie, or excuse me, Darryl, are you buying or selling that the Big East boss flees to the sinking ship and Louisville's going to go down with it?
I am selling that. I don't care where Louisville goes, but they have got to get out of that league. It is absolutely pathetic. The teams they've added, and they've tried to trumpet the teams they've brought into the Big East. It's pitiful. Run, Louisville, run.
Howie, buying or selling that?
You know, I'm also selling it. Certainly Louisville's not going down with the Big East, and I don't think the Big East is going down either. Certainly don't think they're going to be as strong as they were, but you bring in Boise State, San Diego State, you bring in, Houston and SMU. Your football conference is almost about the same. I mean, Pittsburgh has not been great. Syracuse has definitely not been great. So not a big loss in football. From a basketball standpoint, it's certainly different. But either way, I think from Louisville's standpoint, they're an $80 million athletic program now. They're competitive in all different sports. Football and basketball, they're playing on a very, very high level. I just think they fit with other conferences better than the Big East, given how many teams don't play football and don't play other sports at a high level.
Yeah, and it's a sell for me, too. Anytime you've got the most profitable college basketball program in America, you're going to get to dictate some terms.
Yes.
I don't think Louisville's going to put themselves in a bad spot at all. Rick Pitino's contract ends in 2017. If he continues to recruit, he could be coaching quite a little bit longer.
I don't want to understate the Final Four or the Big East Championship for that matter. I felt when we changed our brand 2 years ago, We've had just a great experience with the type of people we have in our program, what we're trying to build recruiting-wise. You know, we spent a lot of time really looking at character in recruiting, and the people we're bringing in are the highest quality.
Darryl, when Rick Pitino was coaching at Kentucky, he said he retired by the time he's 50. He's now pushing into his 60s, so Rick Pitino will be coaching in the next 3 years. You buying or selling?
I'm buying that. He's going to stick around for a while. I think what happened in the Final Four rejuvenated him, and you can have a lot of fun when you're absolutely winning games, even if you don't win the championship. Last year turned out to be a blast for him, and he saw, yeah, he's still got the fire. I think he sticks around for a while, at least long enough for Richard, his son, to get enough experience where he is to maybe come back and take the job. Maybe.
Howie, buying or selling? Rick will be coaching in 3 years.
I'm buying with a caveat. I'm buying that he's going to be coaching in 3 years because he loves the kids that he's coaching right now. He's recruiting at a level that he really likes, and he loves the young kids that are in the program. The caveat is if they win a title. If they win a title, he'll hitch up on one of those horses he owns and ride off into the sunset. I mean, that's really what he's going to do, I think. If they win a title, maybe if they go to another Final Four, if he feels like the program's in very good hands moving forward, I think he rides off into the sunset.
And I'm also buying, and I'm buying because of the Final Four run. I think if Louisville had another out like they did against Morehead State, I think that would have dampened Rick's enthusiasm. Plus, I think he wants to put as much distance between himself and that off-the-court scandal that he had 2 years ago that he can, and I think he's going to keep coaching and try to put that as far back in the rearview mirror as he can get. Well, there's already talk about hoisting Anthony Davis's jersey to the rafters at Rupp Arena. Russ Smith would probably tell you that is an honor well due.
It's tough because you think he's going to come at you, and I'm looking to pass it. I'm hesitating, and he's staying back there, and then he jumps and almost blocks my shot, and it's very frustrating. And then at the end, he's very athletic, so you could take it at his chest, and he can alter your shot.
It was Anthony Davis and the Cats that eliminated Russ Smith in the cards from the NCAA tournament. So, Darryl, I'll ask you first. Anthony Davis will have a better NBA career than another former Wildcat, John Wall. Buying or selling?
Not just former Wildcat, but both are going to be #1 picks in the NBA draft. I'm going to be a contrarian. I'm going to sell that. It's so obvious to say Davis will have a better career because he looks like Bill Russell. The NBA is so much about point guards, and John Wall, if he gets a little help, that team is really going to take off, and that guy is just going to get better and better. So I'm going to end up saying John Wall has the better career by all time, all is said and done.
Howie, buying or selling Anthony Davis a better NBA career than John Wall?
I'm buying it because I do think that small guys usually play longer, I guess. But in terms of Davis, he is smart and he's gifted. And when you're smart and gifted, you can stay in the NBA a long, long time. I mean, there are guys who are just smart and not necessarily gifted that are tall who are in the NBA a long time. He's both.
Yeah.
I think he's got a long career ahead of him. As long as he doesn't, Greg Oden. Greg Oden had all those injuries and just, as long as that doesn't happen.
Yeah. And I'm buying, too, for a reason that I think Anthony Davis could play maybe 4 positions in the NBA. And I think just because of his versatility, it's going to allow him to be somewhat of an iconic player in the league. I think you can promote this kid. The whole unibrow thing is going to give it marketing opportunities for, well, fill in a product there. I'm not sure what product that would be.
Head and Shoulders?
Head and Shoulders or whatever. All right, the next item. NFL teams will regret passing on Kentucky linebacker Danny Trevathan. They did not draft him high enough. Darryl Burr, buying or selling?
I am absolutely buying that, and if he keeps playing well enough, maybe somebody will pronounce his name right. Trevathan. Stop putting Trevathan, Rich Brooks. I'm hearkening back to everybody passed on Wesley Woodyard, who ended up both. Interesting, they're both with the Broncos. Danny Trevathan is a player. He can fly from sideline to sideline. He is going to help a lot of teams, and he's going to end up having a better career and make more of an impact next year and the years to come than some of the guys who were drafted ahead of him. So somebody out there is going to regret that. Man, you've got to stop skipping on these UK linebackers that lead the league in tackles. There's a reason they lead the league in tackles.
Howie, buying or selling that Danny Trevathan?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Danny Trevathan will be a player that the NFL regrets.
I'm buying it. I really am. I love to make fun of SEC basketball, but SEC football is as good as it gets. And if you can tackle in that league, you can tackle in the next league. And the kid's proven himself in the SEC. he'll be fine in the NFL.
The only reason I'm selling it is I would think this would be a more compelling argument if you were an offensive player and you could really see his numbers as a running back or wide receiver or as a quarterback. I think on the defensive side, it's an offensive league, and I think sometimes the defensive players just all kind of mesh together. So I'm just selling from that standpoint.
Maybe you're confusing with Trevathan, the punter from Clemson. Maybe that
Don't get me
that's what
started.
it is.
Hey, when we come back, we'll let UK fans know how much they're going to lose the football game to Louisville by this year. As we head to the break, Daryl's going to tell us about the championship basketball book.
Do appreciate it. The book's name is Celebrate. 136 pages, start to finish of the UK's national championship basketball season. We start with Big Blue Madness, take it all the way through the final game, all the way through the ceremony. It all came full circle back to Rupp Arena for the hoisting of the banner. Like I said, 136 pages, only $10. You can order at magazine.catspaws.com.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, stop by Allstate Ford and test drive a new Edge or Explorer. Or visit us online at allstatetrucks.com. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and now is the time to get your new truck. Bachman has more Chevy trucks than any other dealer, all at fantastic prices. You'll get every Chevy incentive plus exclusive Bachman discounts during Chevy Truck Month. Tremendous selection of Silverados and every dependable Chevy truck. Plus, you save more during Chevy Truck Month with exclusive Bachman discounts. All Chevrolets are created equal. Bachman makes the difference.
I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? He needs help.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The secrets of bluegrass chefs. The secrets of Louisville chefs. The Red and Blue Review. One station. Ion 21.
I'm going to be very blunt and very honest with you. I have no idea what you're talking about.
And as you're going to hear, that's pretty much what you'll be able to say about us. Welcome back to our special buy and sell version of the Red and Blue Review. Jumping into football here now, guys. Buy or sell. Louisville will beat Kentucky by 2 touchdowns this fall. Daryl Burr, buying or selling?
I'm selling that so fast. Auctioneer can just throw the hammer down right now. 2 touchdowns? I mean, I know
the hammer's going down, but it's going down on Kentucky. I'll tell you that.
The obvious thing is to say, yeah, Louisville runs away with it. The unknown. UK's got a lot of talent. It's so young, it's ridiculous. I mean, right there, DeMarco Robinson is just a sophomore. They got a freshman who hurt his knee who's coming back. A lot of very young, untested talent, but 2 touchdowns, that's pretty stiff.
Howie, buying or selling, Kentucky loses by 2 touchdowns to Louisville.
You know, I kind of go back and forth on this. Several times I think, oh, you know, Louisville's going to run away with it. Other times I think, well, it's always closer than I think, or usually closer than I think. I'm buying it. I'm absolutely buying it because Louisville's defense is going to be so good, and Kentucky just does not have the offensive weapons. I think Louisville's defense is going to shut them down, and that leaves it up to, can Teddy Bridgewater score more than 2 touchdowns? I believe he can.
Yeah, and that's what I think, too. I am actually buying this. I think Louisville's going to win the game handily, and I think if you think about the fact that at this point we're still talking about who Kentucky's starting quarterback is going to be. I mean, we got it. It's clear at Louisville. There's no question about it.
Right.
Now Kentucky could be Morgan, it could be Smith, it could be Tolles. I mean, when you have that kind of destabilizing influence going into the summer, I just don't know how much Kentucky's going to be able to move the ball, Darryl. That's my concern.
That's the biggest concern because you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
We're sitting here trying to come with a football yearbook cover, and it's like, who do you put on there? You can put guys on there and they'd be
put
like,
Teddy
who?
Bridgewater on there.
Yeah, put Teddy Bridgewater. We'll loan you Charlie Strong.
Sure, that'll work.
That'll go really well. Hey, let's shift to basketball. We do know who most likely will be the starting point guard at Kentucky this year, and it could actually be an upgrade. Buy or sell, UK will be better at point guard next year with Ryan Harrow replacing Marcus Teague. Darryl, buy or sell?
I am selling that because Teague was so huge down the stretch. He didn't win by himself, but he was instrumental in both Final Four victories. He got better and better as the season went along. He is bigger and stronger than Ryan Harrow. That's why I give the advantage to Teague. Harrow has a year in the system, but Teague is bigger and stronger, and that's very, very important at this level.
Howie, buying or selling? Teague will be not missed at all because of Ryan Harrow.
I'm buying that, and here's why. I do think that Teague was a difference maker at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think Harrow will be a difference maker at the beginning of the year. I think he's had a year to figure out the system. It seems like an easy system to figure out, but it's really not. I mean, they've got some stuff in there. It's not just rolling the balls out, as much as it pains me to say it. But I do think that Harrow's going to know that a little easier. He's going to run that system a little better, and they're going to need him more.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have better stats than Teague ever did.
All right, and for me, it is absolutely a sell because of what we've talked about here already. First of all, I'm a little bit concerned about meshing this team together. Again, I think last year's Kentucky team was really an enigma. They managed to get a bunch of guys who played unselfishly together. I thought the one piece of that Kentucky team that was going to be the problem last year was Teague, but he proved to turn into an unselfish player. He turned into a guy who was trying to distribute the ball rather than score it. And so I think if Teague was the guy who were coming back, I think there'd be a total different topic and discussion about who the #1 team is going to be, because I think he could have been that much of a difference maker. All right, football now. Back to that. Louisville's Teddy Bridgewater. We've already talked about him here in the show, and he's talking about going into his sophomore year. College football is already getting a whole lot easier.
Well, it's been different compared to last season. You know, last season you come in, I was new to college, and I had to learn the system. But being a year into it, and just trusting the guys who are in the system with me, and just going in and out, day in and day out with those guys, is just very different.
All right, guys, here it is. Teddy Bridgewater will be a better quarterback, college quarterback than Brian Brom. Darryl, buy or sell?
That is a toughie, but I'm actually buying that one. I think the game has changed so much. When you look at Cam Newton and you look at RG3, you're talking Teddy Bridgewater. I can throw it or I can go run it. He's very athletic, so I think the game has changed at the perfect time to highlight his skills, and people are going to perceive him to be better than Brom by the time his career is finished, probably at some Texas school with Charlie Strong after he transfers.
All right, Howie, buying or selling? Bridgewater better than Brom?
This is very, very tough. I mean, I have a hard time deciding here, but I'm going to say buy, because I think Teddy Bridgewater has such an upside. Brian Brom was so polished by the time he got to college. He knew all of Louisville's offense. He knew everything coming in. He just had it all down pat. I think Bridgewater came from a little different offense. I think he's learning everything that first year, and his upside is a little higher. I think they'll both be fantastic college quarterbacks, and I think you'll see both of their jerseys up in the rafters at some point at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium.
Now, for me, it's a sell, but it's a sell because Bobby Petrino is no longer running the offense that Teddy Bridgewater is going to play. And I think if you look at, obviously, Brian Brom was a great player in high school, a great player in college, has not had the professional career that I think a lot of people have maybe thought he would do. So let me ask you, as we continue the debate, how will we know if he's better than Brian Brom? Because I don't think you can do it based on raw numbers because the offenses are so different.
Right.
Do you base it on, well, do you win a BCS bowl game? Brian did. So what would be the determining factor to let us know which one is the better?
I think probably for a lot of people is how good they're going to be in a pro, but that's not really what we're talking about here. We're talking about college quarterbacks. So I do think, do you win a BCS bowl? How many wins does your team have? And from that standard, it's going to be very tough to beat the standard that Brian Brom put
Yeah.
up. I mean, those numbers are fantastic.
Now, do you think Brian had better players around him? Because remember, he had Michael Bush on that team. I mean, there was a lot of really good players that Louisville, especially on the offensive side of the ball in those days.
Sure. I think for that team, he had a fantastic cast. I think Louisville's building that type of cast. The wide receivers they've got coming back this next year with Devontae Parker and Michael A. Harris and Eli Rogers and some of those young running backs, I think we're going to look back 3 or 4 years from now and say, wow, those teams were loaded with talent.
To me, this whole argument is the same as what we just went through in the NFL. Who do you like better, Andrew Luck or RG3?
Yeah.
That's the type.
They're both great.
Brom is like Luck,
Yeah.
and Bridgewater's like RG3, so you're splitting hairs, really.
All right, here's a topic that really could be one of those long-range look down the highway. It sees what's coming in college sports, especially in the SEC. The question is, should the SEC expand the basketball schedule to go to a 26-game league schedule?
How about that?
Daryl, that is, first of all, just the concept of that's a little staggering to me, but buy or sell? What do you think?
I put a buy on it just to be ornery about it, because if you want to determine a true champion, 26 games, that is home and away with every team on both sides of the division, or as the SEC is right now, it's one big division. So how do you determine who do you not play? Play everybody home and away. It's 26 games. You've solved Calipari's scheduling problem. He plays 26 conference games, and he plays everybody else on an aircraft carrier, and he's ready for the tournament.
All right, Howie, buying or selling a 26-game SEC schedule?
I'm buying that they would try it, because given how Cal's tried to weaken the schedule already, he would love a weak SEC 26-game schedule, and that would get rid of Louisville, that would get rid of Indiana, that would get rid of North Carolina. I'm selling it based on I don't want it to happen. I mean, don't go to this. I hope no conference goes to this. I love out-of-conference games because it tells you just how good your team is.
I'm selling, and I would buy it if they were talking about going to an SEC football schedule that's almost all exclusive inside the SEC. But, Daryl, I got to tell you, in the SEC, there's just not a lot of good teams that I want to watch Kentucky play. You want to watch them play Vanderbilt. You want to watch them play Florida. Really, there's nobody in the West that you get jacked up about watching them play again. Now, with maybe A&M coming in, that might change that. I don't know. I think it waters down the product. I don't think it'd be as interesting basketball to have all inside league games.
Probably not, but it is as interesting as the prospect of playing, the Marist and
now,
those
I agree with
guys.
that part.
Those are pitiful games to have to sit through. But 26 is far-fetched. We're doing it for theater here.
Right.
But with adding 2 new teams, you're looking at least 19 games if you're going to go back to divisional formats and play home and home against the East and everybody in the West. That's 19 games on your schedule.
The reason that I could buy that is because that would make some conference a lot of money.
It really would.
Because that would increase their revenue, that would
would.
increase the number of offerings they could get to the ESPN. That'd make them a lot of money.
Yeah. We come back, we'll tell you who needs to be picking up the tab when teams go visit with the Prez. As we head to the break, Howie's going to tell us about CardinalSports.com.
Absolutely. This is something you absolutely should buy. Go to CardinalSports.com and you can get all the recruiting information, videos, and updates on basketball recruiting, football recruiting, the football program in particular. Check it out, CardinalSports.com. It's a small monthly fee to get on the premium service, and you can get all the recruiting information.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, stop by Allstate Ford and test drive a new Edge or Explorer. Or visit us online at allstatetrucks.com. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and now is the time to get your new truck. Bachman has more Chevy trucks than any other dealer, all at fantastic prices. You'll get every Chevy incentive plus exclusive Bachman discounts during Chevy Truck Month. Tremendous selection of Silverados and every dependable Chevy truck. Plus, you save more during Chevy Truck Month with exclusive Bachman discounts. All Chevrolets are created equal. Bachman makes the difference.
Bachman makes a difference.
Okay, I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? You're the one that needs help.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The secrets of bluegrass chefs. The secrets of Louisville chefs. The Red and Blue Review. One station. Ion 21.
Jersey.
That's a good looking jersey right there.
And the young guy from your home city of Chicago would like to present you with the 2012 National Championship ring, and I might say it is the first.
Well, this is some nice gear.
All right, the president gets the gear. Kentucky picks up the bill. The question is, conference should pay for the White House trips. Darryl, buy or sell?
Yeah, the little known secret that the teams get stuck with paying for all of that, which I don't think is right. Conference, somebody should. The conference made a lot of money off Kentucky this year and off Alabama football. Least they can do is pick up the tab to go to D.C.
Howie, buy or sell?
I'm selling it because the last thing I want to do after you beat my head in all year during the conference schedule is pay for your trip to the White House.
And I'm selling as well. I think who should pay for this? The NCAA.
Yeah,
those guys are making billions on this. Surely they can send 20 people to the White House to take care of the press. See you next time on the Red and Blue Review.
When you visit Kentucky and savor some of its unique experiences, you'll be surprised by how much your vacation really comes to life. To plan your Kentucky vacation, call today or visit KentuckyTourism.com.